We have an exciting field trip. We actually have a field trip here today. Just going to give it just a little bit more time to get people involved. Welcome everyone and all. If you're on Facebook, please welcome. We're going to go down the line like we always do, to tell a friend to tell a friend. This is an exciting day here that we're going to give you from the exciting historic Virginia Key Beach Park. We are on a actual field trip today. It's a great day so far. We're just going and inviting more people. You don't want to miss this exciting episode of Virtual Field Trips with the Black Archives History and Research Foundation of South Florida. We're just going down, trying to get more people involved, get you outside, fresh air, no rain. For now, we don't want to jinx it. But we have our team here with us at Virginia Key Beach. We are practicing somewhat social distancing with the cameraman. We have our mask on as we get ready to talk about this history. Welcome. Anybody on Facebook yet? Said hello? If you want to say hello on Facebook, please just make a comment so that we'll know that you are here. We're still going down the line and inviting people to join us here on Instagram. You don't want to miss this episode. So welcome Miami Gardens Now, Jocelyn Hurtado, Longest Frog. Welcome. Anybody on Facebook, say hello to me if you're here. Okay. Welcome to historic Virginia Key Beach Park. Glad to have everyone here. We have our masks. We're broadcasting from Facebook. We're broadcasting from Instagram. Hopefully everybody hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Well, you know you can zoom in and out if you want to. So we're here today at what is known as the historic Colored Beach here in South Florida, in Miami. Historic Virginia Key Beach plays a vital, important role to the history of civil rights for African Americans in the South. Virginia Key Beach is the first beach designated for colored people here in South Florida. It came out of racist civil rights. It came out of the Jim Crow era in 1945. We're going to start this journey later on. We hope that we're going to be joined by staff here at Virginia Key Beach Park. Just to let you know, Florida has a very stringent history of racism that is rooted in segregation. We found that even in our research, there's some Florida state laws that bans the togetherness of white people and black people. We also found that in its statutes, Florida said that white people can't teach at black schools, black people can't teach at white schools. Florida even had statutes that prevented whites and blacks from even being married. So when you talk about racism and is Florida really South but not South, Florida is definitely South, and Florida got away with a lot more racism than people would know. But we're here at Virginia Key Beach Park, which was started in 1945. It's celebrating, 75 years? 75 years of existence. Virginia Key Beach Park came out of the fact that the need for blacks to want to have the same amenities that they pay for in their taxes. Virginia Key Beach Park came as a way of black residents in Miami who petitioned the county, who challenged the laws and customs of society that says that blacks cannot swim at a white beach. So therefore there was something called the wade-in that came in, and blacks during that time wanted to challenge this rule that they could not swim at a county-owned beach. So they went out and they attempted to do a wade-in. They had their attorneys. They notified the law that they were going to do this wade-in. They knew that if they were able to get the conversation into the courts, there was a chance that this law that separated blacks from being able to enjoy just the nature of swimming, the right to just swim in the ocean, would get overturned. So when they went to do the wade-in, no one was arrested, but the county created a plot of land that they would designate for blacks to be able to go and swim. Now, prior to that, I believe it was in, what was the year? When they, give it to me. Prior to that, the county came together as a council, 1933 was it? Around the 1900s, there was a panel that came together and said that they would designate a section of the county beach for colors, but that plan never came to action, whatever that is declining. It never came to fruition, it never came to action, but definitely when Virginia Key Beach came around in 1945, when they did not arrest it, they designated this area. It wasn't the best beach, it wasn't the best plot of land, but you give blacks lemons, they make lemonade. And an interesting thing I want to say about, before we get started on this walking tour, is that when they gave this beach, there was no bridges. Today we came over to the beach by way of the causeway, Rickenbacker Causeway, but back then you had to take a ferry or a boat over to the beach. Interesting thing enough that people said if you missed that last ferry, you were stuck over here to the next day. So we're going to take a walk. As you know, this is the entry of Virginia Key Beach, the way that we walk. And we're going to move fast, guys. This is the entry of the beach. They have the guards there when you come in. If you come to Virginia Key Beach, there is parking. You have to pay to park. So definitely that helps fund the beach. It helps fund. We appreciate it. There's a lot of vegetation. A lot of vegetation when you talk about Virginia Key Beach. The environment, the ecosystem here was very strong. They brought it back for a time. All types of native plants as well as native animals used to be here on the beach. We're going to take our walk this way. So, very beautiful open space. If you can think about 1945, when they first opened the beach, how proud people of color was to be. Walking in, I want to make sure we get it's 75, celebrating 75 years. As you can see, I think that's Guy Fortune in the distance doing some documenting over here. We're going to say hello to Guy Fortune in a second. But 75 years of existence at Virginia Key Beach. Looks like they're documenting this space. Tiki Hut. All of this history in the beach cabins existed. We're going to visit the dance floor. When you hear a lot of native pioneer people talk about Virginia Key Beach, they talk about the good times. They talk about how exciting it was here. The performers that used to come to Virginia Key Beach, as well as entertainers, social figures, civic figures. We'll keep moving. That rain is coming. Okay, the wind is heavy. So we're going to try to, it's very windy today. I'm going to try to stay close as much as I can. I don't have the visual, so we have somebody tell us that rain is coming. So we're going to try to keep moving. We're going to try to give you as much visual. Guys got to stay close and try to keep the wind buffers. I don't know if you see there's a huge sand castle. We're going to take cover because the rain is coming. We're going to get up under one of these sheds here. It wasn't a good idea at first, but here's the rain. I think I talked the rain up, right? So we got a little rain coming down. Maybe Guy will join us. We're going to go here to get it rain. Guy come over and join us and maybe give us a conversation about Virginia Key Beach. And maybe you guys can hear me a little better. We're going to take cover because a little rain is coming. And one of their beautiful tiki huts. So, all right. So I don't know if you guys can hear me now. I think Guy and his people are coming over, so this is a good opportunity. Just want to test the vocals. Can you guys hear me? Yes or no? Thumbs up, thumbs down. So we are fortunate. I'm going to bring Guy, you have a moment to come on? Yeah. So we're going to introduce you to Guy Fortune, who's the director. Come on, guys, y'all can come on, please. Yeah. How you doing? Guy Fortune, who's the director of Virginia Key Beach. His staff is here. This is our virtual field trip that we do at the Black Archive. We go around. We've done Hampton House. We've done different places. So started because COVID, we went virtually, digitally did PowerPoints, but we thought it would be a great time to really come out here And you're live on Facebook and Instagram with the Black Archive. So I'm going to turn it over to man that can tell you everything.
No,
I
great.
just give him a small introduction, but yeah, definitely, come on.
And I'll just do a short intro. I'm Guy Fortune, Executive Director of the Virginia Key Beach Park Trust. And so we operate, have restored, and managed this historic beach park, 82 acres. I'm here with some of my staff. Come on in. All this is live. Charlie, Bruce, you all introduce yourselves, what you're into, what you do.
My name is Charlie Wayman. I am the Education Outreach Coordinator for the Virginia Key Beach Park Trust, and I also manage the volunteer projects here at the park.
Hey everybody, I am the park supervisor. I came on board about a year ago, and I do the everyday overall maintenance of the park.
Yeah, so it's team effort. We're a small group, but we do a lot. Amazing amount of volunteer support has allowed this property to look the way it does, and for us to be able to maintain it. 82 acres, it's almost like being on a farm. And so when you really think about the amount of space that we have to manage and keeping it up to the expectations of the public that arrives, and it's a very special environmental space, you want to make sure things are done properly for native plants and removing exotics all the time. Charlie might want to talk about a little of the wildlife that is out here.
Yeah, so this park isn't just a beach. It's actually a lot more than that. We actually have two major ecosystems there. We have our tropical hardwood hammock, which is in the back here, and of course our coastal dune beach ecosystem, which is behind me. So we have animals that are ranging from things like gray foxes to, well, we have iguanas now, but iguanas. We even have, we also have a lot of birds like ospreys and ibises and a lot of just native Florida birds. And then we go into the water, we have pufferfish, we've seen barracuda, we've seen manatees, we've even seen dolphins off the shoreline, and of course, sea turtles. We are a turtle nesting beach, and we're actually smack in the middle of sea turtle nesting season as well.
If you walk the shoreline, you might see some roped off areas in plastic roping. That's to identify where some of the turtle nests are that are in more public areas of the beach. Otherwise, they don't typically mark where nests are. So they are federally protected.
So it's amazing. We have people on. Somebody did ask about the carousel, but we'll do the carousel, talk about the carousel when we get over on that side. Talk about the history, 75 years. We're talking about the existence of this space. And I did a little brief about how it came about. But what does that mean to civil rights?
For me, for us, this is a civic activism success story. And I think it really ties into a lot of the protests we've been seeing taking place lately. And then what one person can do, what a group of people can do in changing society and changing laws and changing policies. This was the colored only beach, 1945. 75 years later, it's everyone's beach. August 1st is our 75th anniversary. Because of COVID-19, because of these masks, we're doing that event. What was planned as a huge concert here, it'll now be an online activity. So please, go to our website or go to one of our supporting websites, hvkbmp.org. If you go to that site, you'll see loads on the 75th anniversary virtual event. And so it's a fundraiser, it's a party, it's a cocktail party, a reception. It'll be a lot of fun, a lot of activities going on for an hour and a half. You'll see a virtual tour of the park, along with just enjoying yourselves for your family. It's a stay at home. We want you to stay at home,
Okay.
but we want you to join us virtually.
So they can take like cups of water and sprinkle it on the end of the beach, right?
Exactly.
Whatever does it for you. Yeah.
Okay, we've got people online asking questions.
Oh, okay. Try to answer them if we can.
For training.
Oh, okay. Somebody asked about, I guess they're speaking about World War II. Was that used for training here at the park?
You know, it is my understanding there was training for African American soldiers here and at what is the Marine Stadium area. Unfortunately, I don't have all the details of that history, but that is a yes.
Okay. All right. So now I don't know how much time you got with us. We want to walk. I know you got.
I'm going to pop back in our office because
Okay.
we're deep into things
Okay.
for preparing for the first. Charlie and Bruce may want to still move with them, and especially if you're going onto the shoreline.
Okay, good.
Charlie can fill you in on a lot. He also, among all his titles, he's also park ranger,
Oh,
kind of. So I mean, he really knows the trails,
Good.
knows the wildlife, knows some of the trees, and volunteers. Again, there have been thousands of volunteer hours. And Charlie heads that up,
Thank you
coordinates it
so
all.
much. So we want to appreciate you guys for coming out. We want to walk because the purpose of it is so people can visually get it. I don't want to spill all the beans here because I'm gonna ask about the sand castle and as we go
Keep
through.
moving.
So thank you so much for having us. Gonna do the cola shake.
Most definitely. I know that's how it's done.
And so we're gonna
Thanks a
walk.
lot.
We want to walk.
Appreciate it.
And if you have any questions, definitely ask us some questions as we walk. I want you to see a lot of this visual space because it's very beautiful. Like Guy said, I mean, it's. I was turned on to the other side of the park that I didn't even know existed, where you have the overheads. You know, so there's a lot to this park. So when we get, are you open? Talk about that. Are you open doing
Yeah,
this?
we are open. We were closed for different periods while the city of Miami was closed. This is city property, so we follow those protocols. The city has been following what the county has been doing pretty closely. We were closed during that 4th of July weekend, which we really was going to, hope that people would really come back to the beach on that weekend. And when that was shut down, I think it still kept the public in a pause. The numbers of COVID infections are still going up in South Florida, so we don't know if there will be another impending close down. But day to day, we were open and welcome everyone to come. We can't rent picnic pavilions because that creates gathering. A lot of our large special events that we're known for have been canceled or postponed, but we're focusing on the property, we're focusing on the 75th anniversary, and just being prepared when everybody comes back.
And if you're looking for a quiet space, a lot of people try to flock to South Beach and Ocean Drive, but if you want to get out of the house because you want some fresh air and not be around a lot of people, please patronize Virginia Key Beach Park because it exactly as we look and you're going to see how beautiful it is today. This will be a great walking path that you can go on just to get out of the cabin fever. Wear your mask, follow the guidelines. Again, it's paid entry, but if it's open, this is a great space to come to and get some fresh air instead of going to where it's really populated.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
definitely, we'll walk. Thank you,
Agreed.
guys.
Okay.
The beautiful
Thank you
breeze.
again.
Thank you again. Appreciate you.
All right.
So we'll walk. I don't know the best place. I guess you can tell. We're gonna. Is it better in here or should we go this way? What do you think is?
For the shoreline, well,
Look further down.
yeah, let's go like one section down and then we'll go out because it opens up really nicely.
Okay. So as I talk about these paths, these guidelines, and I'm talking close, so you guys, when somebody's talking, try to get close to them because of the wind. Walking paths, great walking paths to get exercise. Do they allow animals? Pets are allowed here, do you know?
As far as right now, we do not allow animals in the park unless it is a service dog.
Okay, definitely. So just giving you a heads up, if you ever came to the park, the rain did stop. We got up under the cover just to avoid the rain. The sun is back out, typical summer Florida weather. But as you walk through, you talk about native plants that we see. Foliage is everywhere. Talk about what's non-native that you get rid of.
Well, so everything you see here in the picture, these are silver buttonwood, these are sable palms. The round leaves up here are sea grapes.
Sea grapes, yeah, I remember as a kid.
As you can tell, this looks like a grape stalk right here. So that's thus the name sea grapes. They actually grow here. They even grow on the shoreline. An example of a tree that we want to get rid of.
I'm gonna borrow you just for a second before we roll.
No worries.
These right here, as a child, if somebody had this in their yard, it got attacked after school in elementary. Every kid ran to the sea grape tree and attacked these. Even when we used to come on field trips to Crandon Park and here, as soon as the bus stopped, everybody ran to the sea grape tree. So if you've never seen a sea grape, this is not ripe yet. They turn like a purplish color when they're ripe and very sweet. Sorry about this one.
No worries. So just a good example of a plant that is non-native is this plant here. So this plant's nickname is Florida holly. As you can see, you have the red berries here. The official name is a Brazilian pepper. Well, it is a good-looking tree. I have to admit, it's a good-looking tree. It actually is invasive. This is a native plant called a bay cedar. If you can see here, this plant, the Brazilian pepper, is encroaching on this bay cedar. Wow. So what this thing does is it'll plant itself next to it using pollination and the wind, and it will start taking away and sucking away the energy from this. So then over time, this plant will die. So what we do to combat that is we get volunteers, we come out with clippers, and we clip them down to the stumps, and then the park with heavier equipment, we remove the stumps. But of course with wind and pollination, it's a constant battle.
So like over there, a lot of them.
So you might take this out now, and next year, down that way, you're going to find another tree. But it's a constant battle, and it's just a way to keep Florida's native wildlife preserved as much as possible. Here's another example. It's right next to this tree here, the bay cedar, and it's already encroaching it in between. You see how it's winding in between? Because of that, this is all over Florida. There is no animal at this moment that can kill it, as it is an invasive and exotic species. Because of that, it's up to us to maintain it. Sure. But it's up to us to maintain it and take care of it.
Wow.
So let's go down this way.
I know this is normally sand. I see grasses now. Shoreline where I'm from.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Wait a minute. Changed on you. Yeah. I was just here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, but a couple of weeks ago there wasn't a lot of seaweed, but now that there's more seaweed, it makes it seem a lot smaller. Nice little ring of it here.
So this area, kind of want to touch on how you say it. As you see, when historically, you would hear Garth Reese talk about his father and them used to come over on a boat. And before the bridge, they had to come by boat, but the boats couldn't come all the way up the shore. Garth Reese, you can hear him, the late Garth Reese, reminded me time to talk about how the boat had to stay offshore and how the water used to be too deep, and his father felt the water was too deep, so he wouldn't let him come over to Virginia Key Beach too many times as a child because they would have to wade in from the boats just to get to shore. So I just, in these piers, we'll talk about the pier,
With these wooden structures, the original name is groins. Let me get a little closer. The original name is groins. These structures are a low-tech way of keeping sand onto the beach. Just offshore, we have a strong current caused by the creation of the Port of Miami in the 1800s. Because of that, we have this beach constantly erodes, and without these wooden structures, there would be no shoreline. It would become a cliff, it would become grassy. So when you were mentioning the grass, it's because now that the shoreline is growing, these groins actually need to be fixed because they're sticking out way too far and they're not hitting the original shoreline. And because of that, it's already starting to form into a cliff, which is what we're trying to avoid. Down there, if you guys look down there, you can see the original groin, an original groin from the 1940s and 50s.
Wow.
And this is one that was put in 2008.
Okay.
By the Army Corps of Engineers. Right now, this really looks more for aesthetics. Okay. So we're going to be undergoing a project to improve them to make sure that we can preserve this beach. Because we want to come here for the beach. We don't want to come here for a cliff. You know? We want to come here to recreate, get some kids playing in there. That's what this place is about.
So appreciate it.
Yeah.
So definitely come back out. If you were to come to the beach, Virginia Key, it's a great place to come. It's a hidden jewel in Miami because it's a little different, like I said, different from South Beach, different from Hollywood. different from Crandon. It brings a whole nother existence in terms of the history. Nature walk. Don't get this too many times at beaches where you're able to go from dining and picnicking to the beach, but as well as enjoy habitation of trees, tree canopies, and tree-lined walkways as we walk through. Many people back in the day enjoyed it. We're going to walk over to the castle. I want to let you see this castle, which I'm glad they didn't take it down, even though it's going through a lot of erosion. But I thought it was amazing when I saw it was first done. You're going to give a history about the castle when we get there. But picnic tables throughout. You can come, you have a family here. You see that they're enjoying a day out of the house, away from the newscast, away from all of the mumble and jumble of the world. It's really a quiet place. It's one of those places in Miami that is unique. Yeah, watch the shoes there. Hello. They have the right kind of Corona. So definitely, go this way. So we're gonna come this way as we make our way through the vegetation and come back out to the parking area. So we're gonna talk about the history. Any questions on the line so far? Anybody have any?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So we're here. I want you to see this is an amazing landmark. I wish one day we could. One day we could get the people to come and do it again, or bring another one. I thought this was amazing. Upkeep it. So focus on him.
All right, so this sandcastle was brought to the park in 2015 by Turkish Airways. It is a celebration of the first non-stop flight from Miami to Istanbul, Turkey, which is the capital. This sandcastle, well, it was only supposed to last about 1.5 years, but 2015 and it's 2020.
Yeah.
Pretty good considering. I know we have a little bit of a jack-o'-lantern happening up on the top there, but it survived hurricanes, it survived Irma, it survived Michael. Well, we didn't get much of Dorian. Thank you, thank goodness. But if we go around the sandcastle, there's actually world landmarks. So it's a little bit harder to see now, but here on the right, we have the Eiffel Tower, or what we have left of it.
Yeah. Beautiful.
The Eiffel Tower. Then if we keep curving around, you can make out Big Ben, the clock tower in London.
Okay.
Then you have the Taj Mahal right in the center.
Yes.
Right to the left of it, leaning, is the Leaning Tower
Oh,
of Pisa in Italy. This is actually the skyline of Istanbul.
Wow.
And at its time, this sandcastle was the tallest sandcastle in the world. So Guinness did come out here. This was in the Book of World Records.
Wow.
As the tallest in the world at over 45 meters. With that, we kind of continue on. There's the Leaning Tower. Down here is the Colosseum. And they kind of look more like mounds, but on the bottom, those hills were actually supposed to be the pyramids of Egypt. So,
How long did it take him to do this sandcastle?
I'm not really too sure how long it was. This was, I call it BC, before Charlie.
Before Charlie, I like that.
Before Charlie. But, whoa, what is that? Okay, with that.
Native species.
Yeah, right? Probably a spider or something. But with that, yeah, the whole idea was, they even asked us, hey, do you want us to take this out? Because it's only a temporary installment.
No.
At the time, the staff said no. Well, here we're at, and 5 years later, and we still have it standing. We are looking to jazz it up a little bit, either fix it up or add a little, make a like specific historic Virginia Key Beach Park one. So we are looking into that as well.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Awesome. And if you wanted to see how this looked originally, it was pure white. It was beautiful. I was around when they first did it. You can see images of it online if you Google it. It'll come up and you can see the original structure. I was one of the ones that thought it was very important to leave it up as well, because it brought an identity, it brought something fresh and new. And I think even though there's some growth on it and it has deteriorated a little bit, I still think that it's an important part of the new history of Virginia Key Beach Park. And I look forward to hopefully one day a philanthropist will come along and say, hey, I want to give you some funding to maintain it and keep it looking good, or like you said, to change it, to give it a direct identity to just Virginia Key Beach Park and its history. Maybe pay homage to Anthony Range and all the other pioneers that was a part of getting this beach preserved, and as well as getting this beach designated and making it available in 1945. Thank you. So, so as we walk, and I'm thankful for the staff, I'm taking all their time. I'm really honored that God Fortune allowed them to hang out with us today, because it makes this trip a lot more better and just more heartfelt. We're walking towards an area where I know people have been asking about the carousel. We're going to make it over to the carousel in the train. But we're going to walk to where the dance floor was. You might hear a lot of the pioneers talk about the dance floor and all of the dances that were created out here on Virginia Key Beach. How everybody would get out and make up the dance, the chicken scratch, and all those different dances that were made popular in Miami. This is where it happened at. I mean, the music get going, and people just start creating dances, and the dance floor is still here, as well as the bathhouse and the concession area. Concession area, we may put online. We did a PowerPoint, and we had a lot of the historic photos of Virginia Key Beach. We might make that available today, this afternoon, so that you can kind of see it. Maybe we could do it in like a time-lapse PowerPoint thing where you can go on. Here's a picture right here I want to show you historically. Here's one of the bathhouse structure that used to be here. So throughout the park, you will have history markers that you can see and you can learn about it. So it isn't just a day at the beach, but it's a lesson. And then somebody pointed out the nice shade that we're in right now, where we have the overhead foliage that's giving us some type of reprieve. What was that? So as we move forward, we're coming around again, a great skyline. You see the beautiful water. This is my first time being at the beach since March. This is crazy. I haven't seen water because of COVID since March, so I'm like trying to keep from running out there and saying, save me, save me. So this is my first time being at the beach since March. But here we go, the concession stand. Throughout the park, there's historic markers as well as information on the history of the park. You have its designation here. Let's keep moving. What's that, time check?
238.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Huge. This is amazing. We don't even have one of these yet for the Lyric Theater, but this is amazing to have. Sponsored by the City of Miami. The Florida Heritage, designated as a Florida Heritage Site. This sign is major when you have it at your facility. Want to keep moving. Again, now we're walking over to the dance floor, which is now covered by a covered area by tent. Amazing. Dances happen out here. Excitement. Another historical marker. When you come out, you'll learn about the history. 1918 map location. The Negro Dance Pavilion on Virginia Key. 1945, a concrete dance floor. Where here they danced. They did the Lindy Hop, the Foxtrot, Twist, the Monkey Mash, the Robot, the Hustle. Popular hits of the day. Local radio stations held live Saturday broadcast and host a dance contest here. This is the original slab. This is the original slab. More of that is still here. They have events still here, still exist. This is a great preservation of that particular space. For pioneers that come back, they remember this, they talk about it. And a great adaptive reuse where they have the tent where it's a covered area. What type of things you do here now? I see the box ball take down. I see
Yes,
box ball.
honestly, with all of our pavilions, we do everything. So anything from weddings to music festivals, to camping festivals, to, well, the box ball is there because there was a summer camp that was using this area. So in the summer, when it's not really much of event season, we have summer camps on the property. Of course, with COVID and with the newest restrictions, we really miss them. We miss you guys. It's really not the same. The park's not the same without all the kids running around and just enjoying it. But we do essentially everything, anything you can name of. I saw a crawfish boil here. That was really cool as well.
Crawfish
And
in South Florida.
Yeah, right? It was really something. But you can do absolutely anything in here. Usually when these pavilions are rented, it is 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to whenever the park closes, which is typically sunset when it's not COVID-19 hours.
Trying to be mindful of the time that we have staff here. I don't want God to send me a bill because I can't afford it. If you come out when it's not COVID, a great play area here, that's massive. I've been out here with kids that have like attacked this place. It's been exciting. We're not gonna walk that far over there. We feel a little getting tired in here. But we are on the water, so what do you expect? You know, I'm amazed because I thought I would need insect repellent, but not this year. Not this time. You know, of course, we outside in South Florida, mosquitoes. I don't feel them at all this time. So it's always good to bring insect repellent. We want to be outside. Sunscreen is simple. We're walking over to the carousel. It's not open now, of course, because of COVID. But historically, this is what a carousel was, the structure. And I'm going to let staff tell you about the carousel, which was known all around. That there was this huge, beautiful carousel. That they was able to restore it and bring the carousel back. This is historic, truly. Many children, kids, talked about being able to ride the carousel. And here we'll go to the historic mark first, and then we'll allow. What's your name again?
Charlie.
Charlie. We'll allow Charlie. BC. Poor Charlie. we'll just point out a historic photo of the carousel. But of course, I know he can talk to us about the history behind it, as well as what they had to go through to bring it back.
So this carousel was probably one of the most popular things in this area at this time. A big reason that there was a carousel was because of Crandon Park. We owe a lot of the amenities that this park has to Crandon. Crandon had a concession stand, they had a dance floor of sorts, they had a train, they had a carousel, they also had a bathhouse. It's kind of hard to talk about a historic bathroom, but it's really significant because of what was going on at the time, which was separate but equal. And in a lot of states, that was the case, but in many ways, in many states, it wasn't. So the fact that at the time, Crandon Beach was the white beach. So at the time that this park was getting the same amenities as the white beach, it's one of those one of those big victories that, you know, just adds a little bit of significance to it. This carousel, the park was shut down for 26 years in 1982, and this place was boarded up and locked up. And over time, because it was shut down, it was almost essentially an abandoned property, except for City of Miami police training exercises. The carousel was lost to looters. At the time, there wasn't anything left. So the trust, starting from the early 2000s, decided to bring it upon themselves to bring this back, to bring this building back. So the building was originally here, but at the time, there was all kinds of spray painting, graffiti, and it was just, well, 26 years of being abandoned, right? And they were able to find a 1949 Allen Herschel carousel. It's not the same one in here. The carousel inside is more ornate than this one, and it has a metal floor compared to the wooden floor, you can see. But the trust was able to get something that fit the time period, and we were able to bring back this for kids and adults alike. I've actually seen a 96-year-old woman ride this carousel.
Oh, man.
As well as she was living her memories as a kid. It was really special.
So definitely, here's the building. I rode the carousel. So we had a something-year-old man ride the carousel as well. Again, I just want to get that sight. Anywhere you go throughout the park, you can see the tree line, just the water. I mean, you talk about Bahamas. I mean, this is the best it can get when you look at how beautiful the water is and the sights here in this particular area. I don't think you can get this nowhere else in Miami. Carousel can't see it now, but it's in there. It's beautiful. You can come out and ride it once COVID is over. I think we're walking toward the train.
Yes.
Yeah, so definitely, not only was the carousel And it's interesting that Charlie talked about the amenities here. I think it was very important that the Dade County and the people, we have very powerful people that pushed to have this park opened in 1945, and the cabanas. I'm gonna talk about a couple of people. Dan Johnson was at the time the park ranger back then, and he took a lot of photos in the archives of this area and people that was here. My family have many photos of being here. Pictures of Martin Luther King here in the water, Muhammad Ali, many people that used to come and frequent this area. Again, we're in a nature walk. As you notice, we're in vegetation. As you walk through, you're not just experiencing the beach, but you're experiencing history. You're experiencing nature, outdoors. You're learning about, am I saying it right, ecology, the ecosystem?
There's
Yeah.
100 different names for it. Ecology, ecosystem, biodiversity, however, you know.
Yeah.
It's all
Watch
the
the
same.
water. So as we're walking sort of like you're walking almost the country, but you're in the middle of a city, and we're walking to the tracks. This is the train tracks. When you talk about dividing lines, racial dividing lines, this train track here is one of the many things in the park that has been exciting. I know it's down now, but want to talk about it? Talk about the train?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. So, just like the carousel, this was the hot ticket item amenity at this park. Was the mini train. The mini train is a miniature train corporation train, and just like the carousel, it was lost to time with those 26 years of the park being shut down. And especially Miss Athalie Range, who had a love of trains, this was a big project to get done. So this one is actually very close to the original that was here at the park. It is a 1952 Miniature Train Corporation train. It is actually painted the same way. It's got the same name, which is Biscayne, Virginia, Rickenbacker Central.
Wow.
Which that I believe was the name came from a contest that was done back in the day to name it. So there was a lucky kid who was able to name this train Biscayne, Virginia, Rickenbacker Central.
Wow.
And
That's the ticket station.
yes, that is a replica of the ticket station. It was graciously built by one of our camping festivals called the Grassroots Festival of Music and Dance. They used to come every year and build a new structure, and so they recreated what the ticket station was. And just
This
to
is
give
going to
us-
be covered? Yes. Vinyl? Yeah.
It is. Hurricane Irma will get a number.
Well, of course. Yeah. Oh, here you go. There's a picture. So exactly. So the thing about that's good about this walk with Charlie is that he's talking about what he knows about, and pictures back it up. When you look at the structure and you saw the overhead, to historical likeness, the ticket booth. Because I was about to say I'd never seen a picture of the ticket booth, and here it is, which is here, and and you pan back to it, you can see that it still exists. So amazing. And there's a picture of the train and all of the kids waiting to ride aboard the train. Come on, ride that train. Let's ride it. Time check. Almost up. We normally do like an hour or so. Now, you didn't mention alligators. We don't have alligators. No? Crocodile? It was a crocodile, right? In the water. Last time I was here, was that?
Perhaps.
I went down here.
Yeah, it was. It had the little sign up. What was that?
So, like I was saying, guys, once again, Brazilian pepper
Coming through, destroying
coming
it.
through.
I don't know. You got strength. Yeah.
But this is the stuff that you wanna. This is the stuff that you want to take out, and it's actually already going after a train now.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do this for hours now. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
Look at the stuff right there.
So on a normal day when the train is working, you're not allowed to walk the tracks, right?
No.
Of course. But we're walking the tracks right now. Sort of like, you guys want to go see it? Stand By Me? That's one of my favorite movies.
itself.
The train is inside, yeah. So currently the train isn't working because the engine failure or?
It's old.
Oh, okay.
It's just at the point where it just can't be fixed anymore.
Oh, wow.
Well, Hurricane Irma flooded the tunnel. The entire bottom was just gone.
They
It is
flooded
not-
the tunnel? Wow.
Yes, we had around 15-foot high storm surges
Wow.
due to Irma. So this is the train. It is
the train.
1952 gas-powered train.
Wow.
So it's not the original one here, but we got one that would have been here at the time.
You are getting a sneak peek back behind the scenes here at Virginia Key Beach Park. Wow.
And, so while this one doesn't work, we are looking to get a new train. Same paint job, same name, same style, everything. And then this one will be retired for
Hey, y'all want to fall out there, like y'all know what's back there. Do we ever talk about expanding the track?
Yeah, I think we're going to go around the pond. We definitely get to see our, we're calling it now the national park portion of our park.
Okay, that's the one with the big pavilions, right?
There's 2 big pavilions. We also have nature trails, as well as it's even quieter than it is over here. Sure, let's go this way. It's even quieter than it is here on the south side.
That's what the Southern Park I was unaware of. My church had a picnic, and I was like, Virginia, yeah, going to Virginia Beach. And when I came and I drove, I was like, wow, you know. I hadn't been here in so many years. I think I just got back from college, you know. And so I was blown away from the thing. I was back in 2003, you know. When I came back, and I was like, wow, because I had never gone. The most I've done at Virginia Key was was the Bud Fest. The Bud Fest that used to happen on the other side of the Heat Park, you know, back when I was in high school. But when I came back in 2003, I was just blown away at what had the renovations, the restorations, and the expansion. The vegetation has grown enormously in terms of the outcomes. You also have a nature walk over a boardwalk or something, right?
Yes, that's actually.
That's on the other side, yeah.
That's actually by our park. But down here a ways, we do have a few recently made nature trails.
Okay.
There's one there's a trail that is definitely geared towards bikes. So you literally rip down there and
Wow.
totally get the full bit of it. We also have a few walking trails that are a new installment that also have inspirational quotes from visionaries around the world.
Wow.
So,
The water.
yeah, it's a little soggy.
Yeah. Lowland.
If you pay attention over here, you may see one of the North American crocodiles.
Oh, but they don't come out though.
No.
They are mostly nocturnal, and compared to its alligator counterpart, they're a little more docile.
Okay.
Of course, take that with a grain of salt. You know, you
Exactly.
don't want to mess with it no matter what.
Crocodiles in the area.
But usually in the summer they're gone. They're not here. They go to somewhere else.
Crocodiles go in saltwater.
They're probably enjoying the summer off South Beach. Who knows? But
Like Lobo campus. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Okay, so we ain't gonna go all the way over because it's gonna shut off. It's gonna shut off an hour. We want to get some of the inside stuff that we have inside of the building, but we might not be able to get it this time. So we may or may not be able to may have to come back for a part 2 on this if everything is shut down. But I another visual of how the open space is here. You don't see this in Miami often. So much open space. Even when you go to Hollover, even when you go to Crandon, even when you go to South Beach, when you talk about beach space, this is one of the most beautiful area that you can ever see in Dade County in terms of being able to interact between beach as well as park space. So if you are in Miami, if you are visiting, this is the place to come and visit. They're open now during COVID. I'm quite sure the funding that you use to park, they'll definitely use it to keep the park going. We just actually respect the space because this is history as well as a beautiful place that has a lot of native animals, native weeds, and things of that nature. If you notice, they're practicing safe. They're not allowing people to assemble under their large canopies here. Let me ask you this. I always wonder, does this Virginia Key Beach connect to the other side?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Is it walking?
If you follow this dirt road
Uh-huh.
all the way back, it keeps going straight for about another half mile almost.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bridge that goes over to the other park, and it goes to the beach also.
Wow. Oh, okay. Okay. So we ain't gonna walk everybody too much further. Listen, we're happy that we're able to do this. Was happy to be able to get out here. I wish we had more than an hour today. I want to certainly thank God Fortune, but I want to thank his staff. Charlie, we're gonna do the COVID bump. Boom. And your name? Bruce. Charlie and Bruce for giving us this insight, this tour. I don't know if there's any questions anybody posted. We want to give a shout out to Gene Tenney, who's on the board. Gene Tenney does a lot, talks about the runaway enslaved people that would run through here to get back to the Bahamas, and the Seminole Indians that used to occupy this space as well. All of the trust, I think Patrick Range is on the board as well. He's on the board of Black Archives too. Want to just give a shout out to them and a thank you for allowing us to come into the park and do an actual field trip. We actually did a virtual field trip this week. We're going to come back. We want to schedule maybe in a couple of weeks, maybe come back and get more of the other side as well. They have a great, even though it's not a museum yet, inside of their office spaces, they have a lot of artifacts in it, like a train horn that I like to blow when I'm here, and they have other things that the lifeguards stand and stuff like that side there. They're looking forward to opening up a civil rights museum. So many people on our show, they talk to us about when we're going to get a civil rights museum in Miami. Reason why I'm not pushing for one, because I know that Virginia Key Beach is working on one. And I'm never one to try to duplicate what someone else is doing. I only want to support what they're doing. They are planning a civil rights park. It is a civil rights museum. It is important and it's significant because Virginia Key Beach Park, the Color Beach, came out of Jim Crow. It came out of civil rights. So, but what better place to talk about civil rights than at a location that was the result of Jim Crow and the push for civil rights. There's nothing new under the sun. I want to thank you so much, everybody that has watched us. We appreciate it. I think I'm going to take a dip in the water. Y'all take care. Goodbye.